This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your college football bowl preview for the games taking place on Friday, December 23rd through Monday, December 26th. We're going to begin with the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl, where we've got Eastern Michigan taking on Old Dominion. Interesting MAC versus Conference USA matchup here. And if you look at the MAC conference in bowl season last year, didn't do great against the spread. You look at the MAC in bowl season so far this year, Toledo with the straight up and against the spread loss against Appalachian State on Saturday in their bowl game. Central Michigan, as I'm recording this video, not starting out very well against Tulsa, to say the least, in the Miami Beach Bowl. So the MAC kind of basically doing what they did last year, and that's not exactly performing well here during the college bowl season, and I think that trend may continue here. Eastern Michigan is no doubt excited to be in a bowl game. 7-5. Chris Creighton did a fantastic job with this team. Solid ground attack, decent quarterback, and Brogan Roback. But this Eastern Michigan team here is going up against an Old Dominion team that I think has much greater and more potent skill position talent. David Washington, the senior quarterback for Old Dominion, has really been good. And what I like about David Washington is he's only had 4 interceptions this season. And it's pretty simple. If you don't turn the football over, you don't give Eastern Michigan very many chances to stop you, because this is still an Eastern Michigan defense that has, I think, their share of question marks. You look at inside MAC play, what they did. Northern Illinois put up 31 against them. Ball State put up 41 on them. Western Michigan 45 points against them. Toledo 35 points. Better offensive teams move the ball with success against Eastern Michigan, and I don't know if that changes here for Eastern Michigan's defense against this Old Dominion team. Both of these teams are excited. I think motivation is out the window. They're both happy to be here. They're excited to play in the Bahamas Bowl. But then you look at where these two colleges are. I mean, Old Dominion's, in the southeastern part of the United States. Then you've got Eastern Michigan and Ypsilanti. This could be a little bit more of a vacation for Eastern Michigan than it is for Old Dominion. Old Dominion's, familiar with playing in up warmer tropical climates. Eastern Michigan, particularly late in the season, December football, they're going to look at this as a reward. Bahamas, look at the sun, look at the warm weather. The Michigan kids are going to absolutely love this, but it might affect their focus and their preparation level and their intense just a bit on the football field. Plus, I just think Old Dominion, the better of these two teams. We're going to get back to this game for play of this video at the end. Louisiana Tech, Navy, next game up is the Armed Forces Bowl. And for Navy, really the concern for me with them, and it's probably a big reason why we've seen an initial surge here toward Louisiana Tech in this game. Louisiana Tech opened a 3-point favorite, now 5.5, 6 pretty much across the board as a favorite in this game. And Navy's mindset has to be in question. You went through a grueling finish to the season. You lost to Temple in the AAC championship game. Then you played Army, that annual rivalry game. Army finally, for the first time in ages, beats Navy. Navy, again, without their starting quarterback, Will Worth, who got injured. And it will give time here for the backup quarterback to have his chance, to be better, I guess, than he was against Army. But the one thing I will say for Zach Abbey, when he took over in the quarterback spot for an injured Will Worth in that Army game, he started out slow, but he started to get things rolling for that Navy offense as the game progressed. And I think you're going to see Navy really look to throw the football more. I think Zach Abbey does have a somewhat decent arm. They sort of got away from the traditional triple option at times against Army. That might continue here against Louisiana Tech. And I think Navy's offense is capable of having success. Louisiana Tech's defense didn't exactly fare well in terms of being able to get stops in bunches, particularly against the better teams, the bowl teams. Look what the bowl teams did against Louisiana Tech. 58 Western Kentucky scored against them. 39 Southern Miss scored against them. UTSA scored 35 against them. North Texas scored 24 against them. Western Kentucky in the first meeting scored 52 against them. Middle Tennessee hung 38 on this Louisiana Tech team. So this Louisiana Tech defense is still very much vulnerable. And I know usually time to prepare for the triple option is a benefit, but I don't know if Navy's going to be exclusively running triple option offense here with the new quarterback and their willingness, at least against Army, to maybe throw the football a little bit more. So something you're going to want to keep in mind here. Read what Navy's offensive game plan. If you can find some good quotes as to what they're going to be attempting to do in this game, even though they may not give it away, may be beneficial here. On the flip side, though, I don't think Navy's defense is going to get any sort of stops here or resistance against this very good Louisiana Tech offense. Ryan Higgins, the quarterback, tremendous season, second in the country. We're one of the top quarterbacks rather in the country throwing the football in terms of yardage. Just fantastic. 4,000 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. Fifth-ranked scoring offense in FBS football, 44 points per game. Third-ranked pass offense in the nation at 359 passing yards per game. And this Navy secondary is not good. You saw Temple even through the air with P.J. Walker, or Philip Walker now as he's being called, shredding this Navy team through the air. And Philip Walker's a mediocre quarterback, or a decent but not great quarterback by any stretch. I think Ryan Higgins can do similar damage here. I kind of agree with the initial line move toward Louisiana Tech. Over the total is probably an even better way to look in this game. 67, 67.5. We probably should see points. Check the weather, make sure it's good for this game, which is taking place in Fort Worth, Texas. But if it is, we should see the offenses have a pretty good day on both sides. Ohio, Troy, this is a tough one. It's hard for me, again, right now to back any team out of the MAC conference right now in bowl season until they finally show evidence that they can step up from a straight-up and ATS standpoint. I'm not sure I trust Ohio to do that. Ohio's got a great defense. That's the one thing. And I think Ohio's got the better defense. But, Troy, a very good offense. Brandon Silver's had a very good year at the quarterback spot for this Trojans team. And certainly going to be a test for Ohio. But Ohio's defense, the way they played against Western Michigan really did impress me. So it's a tough game for me to call. I like Ohio's defense more than I like Troy's defense, and you're being able to take points with perhaps the better defense here with Ohio. But again, you've got that MAC, Ohio from the MAC, and the MAC has just been a money burner for a year plus now here in the bowl season. So it's a game that I'm probably going to end up staying away from on Friday. All right, let's go to the Christmas Eve Hawaii Bowl matchup. Middle Tennessee State taking on Hawaii. It's the annual Christmas Eve affair between in Honolulu. And the reason why there's no line in this game is because we don't know the status yet of Middle Tennessee quarterback Brent Stockstill. He's obviously the guy in question in terms of whether he's going to be able to play for this game. We won't spend too much time on it since we don't have a line on this game as of yet. But certainly I think Middle Tennessee State is going to be able to move the football pretty well, especially if they have Stockstill back from that broken collarbone injury. That's definitely an injury you're going to want to monitor prior to kickoff. All right, let's go now to Monday, December 26th. 3 games on Monday. We're going to start with the St. Petersburg Bowl, Miami, Ohio, Mississippi State, Monday, December 26th. Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Good job, NCAA. These are kids that are away from their families at Christmas time. Let's put you in a bowl game on the day after Christmas at 11 a.m. and pry you away from your families. Good job. Way to go. Bang up scheduling, all for television, all for money. What else is new? Anyway, that's my rant on this debacle of a scheduling situation here for this game. Yeah. Anyway, again, we've got a MAC team, Miami of O. They're catching a ton of points, and I will say this: that Mississippi State defense, I don't trust them. They did not play very well this year on that side of the football. Not a very good Bulldogs defense. The question is, can Miami of O do anything about it offensively? The Red Hawks, not exactly a potent offense by any stretch. Gus Ragland, the quarterback, did good at times, but still, most of the big numbers were against some bottom-tier MAC defenses. Going to be much tougher. I know Mississippi State's defense didn't play great this year, but they faced Texas A&M, BYU, Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss. I mean, they've played some pretty good teams, good offenses. Could be a step down in class here for Miami of O. I don't know if I'm ready to rush out there and lay, 14 points, 2 touchdowns here with Mississippi State in this game, but I'd be reluctant to back Miami, Ohio. You just worry, especially with Nick Fitzgerald, the Mississippi State quarterback, the component that he's able to bring to the table, running the football as well as throwing it. Could be a bit of a tricky matchup here for this undermanned, undersized Miami O defense. So that would be my concern in that one. So, you got a team I don't want to lay doubles with against a team from a conference that I'm not exactly enamored with, has me probably looking to pass on that one. We've got Maryland, Boston College. Yeah, have fun. The day after Christmas, Maryland, Boston College, your reward, you're taken away from your families, players on both of these teams. Your reward is playing a game in Detroit. Yeah, because that's definitely the one destination spot in the world that all of these kids were just dying to go to at some point in their college football lives over the holiday season. Detroit, Michigan. Sign me up. And poor these two teams. I really do feel sorry. Detroit, good people there, but definitely it's a situation where it's going to be tough, I think, for these two teams to really get excited to play in Detroit, Michigan the day after Christmas. That's all I'm saying. But Maryland against Boston College, I don't really love either of these teams. I mean, Boston College, to me, every time I've tried to back them, I do think they're the better defense here for sure. But their offense has just been so stagnant throughout most of the season. It really has been a disappointment considering they got Kentucky transfer Patrick Towles at quarterback, and really it still didn't do a whole lot to make this a better offensive football team. It's still a team that struggled to move the ball throughout quite a bit this season, and it's a team that hasn't exactly beaten quality competition this season. You look at their wins: Wake Forest, UConn. They did beat NC State. That's probably the one quality win. But Buffalo, Wagner, there's just not a boatload of quality wins on this team's schedule, and that's a big-time concern, I think, when you look at it moving forward here for Boston College going into this game. I think Maryland does have the better offense, especially if Perry Hills is able to recover from shoulder injury. That was something that bothered him late in the season. He is currently, looks like he is going to be able to be good to go. Of course, this game is still a week away. You want to make sure that Perry Hills is in at quarterback, because I do think he's better than Caleb Rowe. But again, a good quote from DJ Durkin, Maryland head coach, saying, quote, "We think he's been a really good player for us this year when he's been healthy." He's talking about quarterback Perry Hills. We've had some ups and downs based on his health. He was back for us last game of the year. He's back healthy now, so it does seem he will be good to go for this game, barring any last-minute setback. Very tough game. Maryland, the problem with Maryland is their defense is not great, and who did they beat this season in terms of quality competition? Their wins were against, they did beat UCF in overtime. Okay, UCF is a bowl team, but they beat Purdue. They beat Michigan State, who had a down year. They beat a pathetic Rutgers team. Not a lot of quality wins on that Maryland resume, so difficult game. Maybe lean to Boston College because they have the better defense, but that's a very light lean on my part. Let's wrap it up. Vanderbilt, NC State. This could be one of the early bowl games here where you've got a team that's really excited to be there. I'm talking about Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt played their guts out late in the season to get to a bowl game, and here they are now in the Independence Bowl taking place in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I do think they're going to get a good turnout of fans. This is a team that 6-6 had to win against Tennessee and Ole Miss in their last 2 games of the season in SEC play to qualify to get bowl eligibility. I like the improvement Kyle Shermer made at the quarterback spot. He got better and better. Ralph Webb, a tremendous running back. I think it's got a great balance to them now, this Commodores offense. And it's going to be a good test here for the NC State Wolfpack. And NC State, a bit of a Super Bowl game for them to end the regular season, beating their arch rival North Carolina 28-21. Not that they're not going to be fired up for this bowl game. Again, they've got a pretty decent offense themselves. North Carolina State, great senior running back and Matthew Days. That's definitely a positive sign. Ryan Finley at quarterback. The Boise State transfer is certainly a capable enough QB for this NC State team. Again, I don't know if they're going to be not happy to be here, not excited to play this game, but I think Vanderbilt certainly is. I think Vanderbilt really wants a win. I mean, they want to come in here from a bowl standpoint, get a bowl victory. Their defense did improve late in the season, which is a good sign. I would look to Vanderbilt plus the points here in this game, +4. and a half is what you can get on the Commodores side. I do think you're going to see them excited for this bowl game and be right in the game from start to finish. And if they do win outright, it wouldn't surprise me. So we'd look to Vanderbilt there plus 4.5. All right, let's wrap it up. It's time to give you the play of the day, play of the cycle, I guess you could say, the Friday, December 23rd to Monday, December 26th bowl cycle. We're going back to the Popeyes Bowl, the game that takes place on Friday, December 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to lay the 4 with Old Dominion. We're going to lay 4 points with the Monarchs. That's rotation number 222. Old Dominion -4 against Eastern Michigan. Again, the MAC remains a conference as a whole that has struggled in bowl season. It struggled in bowl season last year, ATS-wise. Toledo failed to get the money on last weekend in the MAC's first bowl game against Appalachian State. I think the MAC struggles in bowl games continues here. Old Dominion just a better all-around offense, better defensive numbers as well against probably a little bit more of a tougher schedule than what Eastern Michigan faced, and I think it shows here in this game. And again, Eastern Michigan may be treating this game a little bit more like a holiday, a little bit more like a vacation than Old Dominion because, again, cold weather climate team at this time of year. Coming to the Bahamas, hard not to look at that as a vacation and maybe indulge a little bit. So let's take Old Dominion -4 for your recommendation in this video for the college football bowl games from Friday, December 23rd to Monday, December 26th. All right, that'll wrap it up. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. We'll be back with more college football bowl videos. Until next time, enjoy the games.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.